Okay, so we again start on the daily time frame on the silver charts. What we can see over here. Actually, let's first take a look at the weekly chart. We've pushed the downside with only down closing candles from the last few weeks. We've tested that big fair value gap here on the weekly time frame, from where we've made a reaction to the upside, with the last week closing a little bit better for a bullish bias at the moment. So from a first look over here, we can see that the market tends to make some reactions to the upside at the moment. And the daily time frame, what we can see over here, we've swept those lows over here, down here, those lows over here, and we've actually never closed candle below them. We've tried to push to the downside, but we failed multiple times. We've failed to the push to the downside over here. We failed it over here. We failed it over here. So we've actually are looking very bullish for all these days over here, especially after this big close here on Tuesday. Thursday we would be looking only for a bullish price action. What we are going to use as support, that inverted fair value gap over here should act as a support for the price. So if we test it, I'm expecting a bullish push from over here. The targets for today are for sure that fair value gap extreme, and for the next days after the push to the upside, we will be targeting that fair value gap here, which will be our next target for today. But at the moment, we will be looking for the extreme of that fair value gap here on the daily time frame. The 4 hour, what we can see over here, same thing as on the daily. We are making higher highs, higher lows. We are respecting the structure from everywhere, from that order block over here to that fair value gap over here to those two fair value gaps over here. We are expecting to see a reaction to the upside from them. So we've pushed the downside, testing that fair value gap at the moment. We might even test that lower one over here, but I'm still expecting a bullish push from here. What we can see with the Asian session, we have open low, very big push to the downside, but we are waiting for a nice push to the upside. So I'll be looking for those lows over here, which is the Asian session from Friday, to be manipulated below, and from there we might see a reaction to the upside. We can actually see it from over here as well, but at the moment I'll be looking for an SMT, so it can trigger some kind of a bullish action for me. Waiting for a sweep of probably one on lows later into the day, since we already took out the Asia session lows and also these lows over here, so we don't have a SMT here. So from here on, I'm waiting for a reaction to the upside push, then maybe a manipulation below London lows, and then a bullish push to the upside. Gold on the daily time frame, we have kind of the same structure. We've made a market structure over here after we've swept the lows and failed to close a candle below them. So we are looking for a bullish price action. We've actually managed to invert that fair value gap over here, so it should act as a support for us. And for today, targets we will be looking for that extreme over here with that swing high to be taken out, and after that we will be looking to fill out that invert that volume imbalance over here that should be filled. The 4 hour time frame, we have a very bullish push here on the 4 hour time frame. We have swing highs, swing lows going higher. We are expecting the structure on the 4 hour time frame. We've tested that fair value gap here on the 4 hour, and we are trying to push the downside to test that fair value gap over here as well. So what we can see here on the hourly time frame, we've swept both those lows as well as Asia session lows. So we will be looking maybe for a sweep of those lows over here to make an S&T, and from there to look for a bullish bias, or we should look for a structure here on the hourly sweep of the one on lows with the New York Open and then a push to the upside. that is what I'm going to expect for today. There is a slight possibility that we move very bearish and invert that zone. Then we might be looking for shorts for the next days, but at the moment we will be looking only for long positions. Euro on the daily time frame. What we can see over here, with as well in here made a structure to the upside. We swept the lows over here and we are now closing above them. We are making highs, new higher lows, new higher highs. We're failing to take out those lows over here. So until we sweep those lows over here and move below them, we will be looking only for a bullish bias. We have that inverted fair value gap over here, which acts as a support for the price. So I'm expecting a reaction from somewhere inside when we tap it out on the daily time frame. And for today's targets, we will be looking for that order block extreme over here on the daily time frame, as well as those swing highs over here. For our time frame, what we can see, we have a little bit slower momentum over here, failing to take that high with that push to the upside and then inverting to the downside, but that should not be a problem since we are bullish on the bigger time frames. We are taking out those lows over here, testing that big consolidation from last week, and from here on we are expecting a bullish push. We've swept those lows, we've actually swept the Asian lows over here, so we don't have an SMT for the moment since pound took it out as well. So we will be looking maybe for the London Open and a manipulation below London low so we can take an entry. At the moment we don't have anything that we can look for. Maybe that swing low here, but I don't think it will be taken out. So waiting for the New York Open to see how the London will react. As probably it will be better for us to see some kind of a price action like this after sweep of the lows and taking a SMT. Pound on the daily time frame as well, very bullish. We've make a market structure shift from over here, respecting that big order block here on the daily time frame, as well as inverting that fair value gap here. So it was a very clear sign that Tuesday will be a very bullish push. So at the moment we will be looking for the extreme over here on the daily time frame. The 4-hour looks very good. We're pushing to the upside, respecting order box, pushing to the upside, respecting fair value gaps, pushing to the upside, and we're gonna see where we're gonna see a support from here and another push to the upside. The hourly time frame here we see we swept those lows. So at the moment we don't have an SMT that I can use. We have that that swing low over here, which at the moment I don't think we're gonna take out. So waiting for maybe a consolidating with a little bit of a higher push on the volume session, then sweep of the lows and another push to the upside, taking out our targets. So that is what I'm expecting for today. We don't have an SMT that I can use for an entry, so I only be looking for a structure, and with the New York Open, we will be looking for some kind of a position to the upside. That will be it for today.